We are officially live. Let's give it about 5 seconds. I've noticed that I believe an ad runs for a lot of people when it starts, so a lot of people can't hear what I'm saying for the first 5 or 10 seconds. So give it a few. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Sunday, man. Yesterday was awesome for me, and I needed it. I swept March Madness. I was one game away from sweeping MLB and one game away from sweeping NBA. Made a lot of money, and it was needed, man, because the last couple of weeks haven't been great for me. Mostly all on the NBA front, though. NBA's just been so challenging recently, so it was nice to finally have a good one. Bulls money line at plus 300. That was dope.
That was ridiculous.
That was awesome. So we got 6 games on the board. Not really a great night, but we'll see what these guys got. Both these guys look at props, too. So maybe they'll find some things that I didn't see. I do have 3 bets down, but they're super small. I even put a disclaimer on the post. I was like, guys, please bet responsibly. If you notice, I'm not betting these heavy at all. So, all right, let's get it started. We got Blazers plus 16.5.
16.5.
I know.
Wow. That's crazy.
But it's like, and I still would probably lean Orlando. I mean, against these bad teams as home favorites, the Magic have been automatic. They have such an insane hit rate at home laying points. So here we are, Magic at home laying points against a bad team, a spot where betting Orlando has made you a lot of money if you've been playing them in these kinds of spots. So as much as I would like to look at Portland, I wouldn't. I know this sounds crazy, but you know where I wanted to get here was an over. And I know you're like, how the fuck are you even considering an over in this game right here? But I actually think there's going to be points scored both ways. To be honest, I was considering a Portland team total over, which sounds crazy, but I think Orlando's going to score about 130. So I actually like the over, but I didn't bet this one at all, so I'm not even going to waste your time talking about it. I'll put up over for me because that's where I would go, but did not bet this, have no interest in it. Either of you gentlemen?
Go ahead, Matt.
Who wants to go first? So this one, so to be clear, I don't have any of my own money on this one. I gave this out as a lean. I do like it as a play itself, but some of these games, I'm just like, if there's a play that I like that I don't hit or that I don't bet that hits, so be it. I'm okay with that. But I had Paolo Banchero over 21.5 points. It's plus 102 odds. It's always scary backing Banchero because his scoring comes and goes. Like sometimes he's just not aggressive. This is a really, really low number. And what I do think should be a pretty good matchup for him to score. Like the Blazers, they allow a ton of pull-up opportunities, like second most made pull-up 2-pointers on the third most attempts, the most made and attempted pull-up shots in general, and then the second most pull-up 3-point attempts as well. Now, Paolo doesn't shoot a lot of threes, so I don't put a ton of emphasis in that. Like I'm not touching his 3-point props. If he makes 2, that's just a bonus for us. But he can eat in the mid-range, and he can eat pulling up from 2-point range. So like even whether Ayton plays, no matter who they play, they just play that super deep drop coverage, and guys can just walk into mid-range opportunities. Scary backing him because he's only hit this in 3 of his last 10 games, and it does kind of seem like even though they keep winning games, they're winning because of their defense, not because he's scoring a lot. So that's kind of why I left it as a lean and why I didn't bet it myself. But again, it's one of those plays where like if you just look at the matchup, I think it's a really good one. Like I said, I'm okay not placing these types of bets and having them hit.
Yeah, I can get with you on that. Ski in the comments said this slate has 1-800-GAMBLER written all over it. I actually missed Ski's show today, but after it was over, I clicked and just skipped through it, and I happened to stop at a point where he pulled up a comment, and the comment said, I forget what game he was talking about, but it says, if you're betting this game, 1-800-GAMBLER is going to call you, which I thought was funny. But yeah, Josh, I think I have a graph. Do I have a graphic for you on this one?
Yeah. I got an under for Scoot Henderson. I'm taking under 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Scoot. It's crazy high, man. This is a crazy high number that he's hit like 4 times in this situation where he's playing without Simons and Malcolm Brogdon. And so it's like I was just making sure that he doesn't go crazy, but he's played 10 times, I believe, out of the 13 he's played without those 2 dudes. So I mean, I'm sorry, I'm 19 of 23. It's even better than I thought. He's just going under this a ton. It's 28.5 PRA.
Oh, 28.5 PRA. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So with that in mind, like the likelihood of doing this against the Magic, I mean, they limit his profile. If you look at Courtside Pal, which I know we love to talk about, like everything, the points, fewest points per game for him. He's scoring everything inside. He's not really he's not a pull-up shooter, essentially, right? And against the Magic, you've got to be an above the break scoring point guard who can hit threes from up top. He is not that. He is driving to the lane and shooting only behind DeAndre Ayton, the most shots inside of 5 feet for this team. So, like, that's not where you score against Orlando. You don't get to the basket. You have to be a good jump shooter. They're not going to respect that. And as far as the assists and the rebounds go, like, they limit point guards to the bottom 5 in both those categories on the season, including everything he does. So, like, even with Ayton in and the ability for a few more assists, his rebound props at like 4.5 rebounds. It's all too high against this Orlando squad. I wanted to take an over as well, Kyle. Like, I was on that, and I was just going to put the money line with the Magic with it and get like even money, basically, a little bit better than plus money to take those two things parlayed. But I don't know if the Trailblazers are going to come along for the ride and score enough points to keep this thing, even close at all. So I'm out on that, but the Scoot under is prime.
Scoot Henderson under 28.5 PRA. Someone said, Kyle, you need to return to NASCAR. I'm not a NASCAR handicapper. I just happened to do a video for the Daytona 500 because it was the All-Star break, and I picked the winner. And everyone like went nuts, like, oh my God, it was like plus 2,000 or something. And everyone's like, make more of these. And I'm like, guys, like, I don't turn a profit betting NASCAR. I don't think you want me to make more of these. We just happened to have hit on the first one. But the reason that I was able to make like a real nice video that weekend was the NBA All-Star break. Now with March Madness slowing down, maybe. But I mean, we got MLB now. So in the time I'm not doing NBA, I'm trying to make some MLB content. So unfortunately, maybe next year, because I'm adding another staff member this Sunday. So maybe by this summer, so maybe by next year I have a big enough staff where I'm able to. But as of right now, it just has to come third on the priority list.
There you go. Look at you making moves, hiring people.
Of course, dog. If you're not moving forward, if you're standing still, you're moving backwards.
There you go.
44%, 31% in favor of Orlando. So most people watching are in favor of laying the points here. Next up, I have a bet on this game. I know. I'm almost embarrassed.
So don't even bother going to me. I pass.
Don't even pass me the mic.
Yeah.
All right. So Grizzlies +2. Pistons -2 and pass. It's so shitty. I literally posted this on the website and I put 0.5U next to it. 0.5 unit. If you guys follow me on the website, you know that like 0.75 units is my small bet. So this is even smaller than a small bet for me. This is mostly because I know people, especially after the big day I had yesterday, people were looking for some action. So I put a couple small bets on there in case whoever was looking for something. I did bet the Detroit Pistons -2. Again, small. Please, for the love of Christ, be careful here. We're talking about the Pistons laying points. So let me pull up the spreadsheets for this one. There was a couple things I like. Number one, strength of schedule. Pistons in the last 10 games, 4th strongest schedule. In the last 5 games, 3rd. So this Pistons team might be slightly undervalued. Obviously, we know the Pistons aren't good, but they have better efficiency numbers than Memphis against a much stronger schedule. So the Pistons are playing better basketball, slightly better. It's like 26th to 28th. So slightly better basketball, but against a much stronger schedule. So I think right off the bat, I think the Pistons are playing at a slightly higher level than Memphis is. I also like how Memphis recently has been really active on the offensive glass. In the last 10 games, they're 7th in offensive rebounding rate. So cleaning the offensive glass has been something the Grizzlies have been relying on. That's not going to happen here on the road to Detroit. Detroit doesn't do many things well. They are elite on the defensive glass. On this full season, they're 2nd in defensive rebounding rate. In the last 10 games, they're 1st. So there's not many things the Pistons can do well, but one of them, they're not going to let you get offensive rebounds. So Memphis offense, where offensive rebounding is one of the only things they've done positively as of late, not going to be there here on the road in Detroit. I'm a little worried. Now, here's why it's only a half unit. Pistons haven't been playing the best defense out on the perimeter, and this Memphis team, this new Memphis injury team, they shoot a lot of threes. So we're going to be screwed here if Memphis outside shots are falling. That's why it's a small bet, because if the Grizzlies threes are falling, it's going to be tough. But as a whole, I think there's more angles pointing towards Detroit than Memphis. And I think as long as Memphis doesn't go absolutely nuts from outside, that the Pistons should win this game. Also, Pistons on the offensive side, they are getting to the foul line, but you know what? You could say the same thing for Memphis, so that's not much of an angle. Pistons have been taking a lot of mid-range shots, something Memphis struggles with, so please be careful here. I have a very small amount of money on this, but I think there's enough evidence on the board to suggest that Detroit -2 is the right side.
I love how carefully you put that.
I'm just like,
so
please. If I wake up tomorrow to a comment saying I lost $5,000 on the Pistons, I'm banning that person.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an instant ban. Is Eric Shipley the Detroit Pistons psycho, or is that a different dude?
Oh yeah, that's it. Is he in here? Yep.
Yeah, he's in here. Go and put the house on it.
Yeah, Shipley, that's him. He's a Detroit. He's a diehard Detroit Pistons fan, diehard Michigan Wolverines fan. He's from Baltimore.
Huh.
Fucking
at least he's consistent. At least it's consistent with the same city.
And also ready. So he lives in Baltimore. Diehard Pistons, diehard Michigan Wolverines, diehard Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore.
That's when you lose me.
This is like an overall weird guy. So
I feel like maybe his dad was like a fan of the opposite teams. You know, some people just grow up like loving the team their dad hates as like a spiteful.
Yeah. Yeah. But by the way, someone said, Sauce, I'm taking out a loan to bet the Pistons.
Yeah. They're on to you, man. They're on to you. Ski was in the comments too, and he was talking about Scottie Pippen Jr. over 10.5. I actually responded there because I don't hate that for Scottie Pippen Jr. to go over, because I was worried. I know one of these guards between he and Luke Kennard has to score. They're the two dudes in there playing guard for them and getting the usage. And yeah, Scottie's actually taken a few more shots than Luke Kennard recently, so I don't hate that at 10.5. But the bet that I have is actually the reason I bet it is it's correlated to the Pistons. I'm taking Jalen Duren. I took over 26.5 PR for him for the points and rebounds combined. And really where I'm coming from here is like, it's a really high number, but if you look at the games where they've won, which they're -2 favorites, which I think has happened, they've been favored like 3 games this season. And they, in the 13 games that they won this season, I believe is where they're at. Jalen Duren's gone over this number in 10 of those 13.
It's so 26.5 PNR. I'm sorry.
Yep. 26.5 PR. Yep, exactly. And so the thing about the points and rebounds too, so the rebounds are at 12.5, the points are at 14.5, right? And so if you put those together, I like putting them together, not needing to fully worry about which one he's going to do. 13's a little bit high on the rebounds, like right at where I'd put in 13, 14 boards. So to get the points in there as well, considering he's done that a bit more, like this is an awful rebounding team. Memphis is awful at shooting, as we know. So there's a ton of defensive rebounds available when they play, with one of the worst effective field goal percentages. And then the rebounding for them, they've been the second worst rebounding team all season and since the All-Star break and since forever at this point, because they've just traded away all their centers and don't have any of those anymore, which is why they've been giving up the second most rebounds per game to centers over their last couple weeks, all the way back to the last 10 games or so. So for Duren, like if he's going to get the 30 minutes, he does this in 72% of the time. He has that amount of minutes. So all this stuff is just tailor-made for him to like get in there, dominate rebounds, and then if this thing is going to be close for the majority of the time, I would imagine. So he'll be getting those minutes like he does against bad teams.
So Jalen Duren over 26.5 points and rebounds against Memphis. Anything can happen.
That's what they say.
But yeah, this is a challenging game to say the least. 51%, 29% in favor of Pistons. So most of the viewers agree with me that Detroit's the side. Hey, maybe the Pistons come through for us. Again, small bet. Next up, Boston, Charlotte. I don't know about you guys, and I know you guys probably weren't looking to pick a side against the spread here, but there's just no way. I know Boston came out and looked good in their last one against the Pelicans, but as a whole, if you gauge the effort we've seen from the Celtics over the last 5 games, 10 games, there's just nothing there that warrants, in my opinion, laying 17.5 points on the road. I don't care who they're playing. This is Ski and Chris B. Kappen. Love this. The Boston first half on the road has been automatic. So if you were trying to bet this game, which I'm not betting this game, but if you're trying to bet it, I would look Boston first. If you're trying to bet the Celtics, I should say, I would probably look Boston first half. That way, when they stop giving a shit in the second half and let the Hornets come back and this lands on 14, you won't care. You will already have gotten your money. So this is a pass for me. I guess, gun to my head, if you force me to bet the game, I'd probably go here. I'd probably take the points with Charlotte. Not doing it, though. This is an ultimate pass for me. Modi?
Yeah. So I have Jason Tatum 4+ made 3-pointers. I did bet this one, but I only put a half unit on it, so I do want to be clear about that. Like, don't put your mortgage on this one. It's plus 200 odds. I really just like have no idea what to expect from the Celtics because the 2 games against the Hawks was wild, and then they had, like you said, a good game against the Pelicans. But now for tonight, both Jaylen Brown and Porzingis are listed as questionable. If they both I want news on them because I do feel like there's going to be some sort of play based on the injury news, whether they're both in or not. But regardless, I like this Tatum angle. It's just a good kind of fade of recent results. He had a stretch where he made 4 more 3-pointers. He did it in 4 straight games, and he did it in 5 of 6. Since then, he's missed it in 4 straight. Tatum's always been a little bit of a streaky shooter, so I like the fact that we're kind of getting him a little bit of a value after having a bad couple days. Also, in this, I don't know how much to put into it, but he crushes the Hornets, probably because they're really bad, and Tatum can crush really bad defenses. But in all 5 of his last 5 games against the Hornets, he's made 4 or more 3-pointers. Now, 4 of them date back to last year, and the 1 game this year was back in November. So you don't want to put a ton of emphasis on that. But for Tatum, just the fact, he'll put up some games where he shoots 15 3-pointers and in a really bad defense, and maybe they're just messing around. He could hit this in a quarter if he really wanted to. So, and I just thought it was a really good value play for plus 200 odds. Like most books, you're getting the closest is plus 180, and that plus 200 is at FanDuel. So I put a half unit on that, and I did like the play.
Before Josh goes, a lot of comments asking about the LSU Iowa game, the women's tournament. If you guys follow me, you guys know that I don't just point and bet. I don't even know where I would find women's college basketball analytics. So I can't give you an educated pick on that. I will say I'm torn between which group of people I hate more. The people that blindly hate Angel Reese or the people that blindly love her. They're both annoying as shit. I don't know why everyone either is so obsessed with this girl or just blindly hates her for no reason. I don't get it. So I guess I'm probably rooting for LSU. But I don't know. I probably will put it on the TV because they've done a really good job of marketing that tournament. And I've never been a fan of women's sports. Not because I have anything against them. Just I barely have time to cover the sports I do. But it's got me enough of interest. I think I'll throw it on a TV. So yeah, I guess I'm rooting for LSU. But it'd be cool to see Caitlin Clark drop 65 points also. So
she's I'm with you. I don't watch a ton of women's sports, but she's must-watch television. She is so fun to watch. She's electric.
Yeah,
so that's my analysis for that.
Do you think anybody bet Caitlin Clark to get drafted by the Pistons? There was a book that had that at plus 10, minus whatever was plus 10. It was ridiculous. So I was like, someone's betting? What's the no on that? I just bet all of my money on the no.
Yeah, right.
But there was no, obviously. I didn't bet this game, but I am waiting to see about Vasilije Micic. If he's out, then
nice pronunciation.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I got that right. I've been practicing. The Micic part's easy. It's the first name that I always mess up. The thing about him being out would be Trey Mann. You get plus money on him to get 6+ assists in this game. If Micic is out, then he'll probably just play 40 minutes. They really don't have very many guards at their disposal, even good guards, but much guards at all. So I would look at Trey Mann, maybe even now at the over 5.5 assists because it's plus money. And that might just drop in value as soon as Micic is ruled out, if he indeed is. So that's something when someone's a late add to the injury report, we talk about it on the show a bunch of times, then the late add to the injury report's when I go, okay, they're probably not playing, in which case I can get ahead of some props for the backup there.
Someone said Prop Ever transferred and played for the LSU women's team last year. So on this game, we got 37% of our money, 37% of our viewers, laying the points with Boston, 31% taking the points with Charlotte, 30% said pass. So a lot of people passing on this one.
Good pass.
Yeah, smart pass there. Smart. Yeah. Brooklyn, Indiana. Okay, so this one not quite as bad as the other ones. Still a really challenging one to handicap and put money on, at least in my case. Here's my take on this one, and I think there's value, but it's not tonight. Hear me out. So, the Pacers schedule, right? They got the Nets tonight. They're laying 12.5 points at home to the Nets, obviously. I think all signs point to a Pacers blowout, but Ski always says this. I don't like betting on a team to win by margin that doesn't play because I don't like betting on a team to win by margin that doesn't play consistent defense. And he's right in that. Can you really trust the Pacers defense? And the answer is probably not. That being said, I think the handicap points towards a Pacers cover. But here's where I think the value is. The Pacers play the Nets tonight at home. Next game, they have 1 day off. Then they travel to Brooklyn. So these two teams have a home and home. The day after that, Indiana plays Oklahoma City. So here's what I want to happen. Indiana blows the Nets out tonight, and then as soon as it opens, I will bet Nets money line in the next one in Brooklyn because the Pacers have OKC on deck in a back-to-back. So that's what I'm planning to do here. I think the Pacers beat the shit out of the Nets tonight. As soon as that shit opens, that'll be Wednesday night's game. I plan on hitting Brooklyn money line, and I mean, hopefully the score of this game's like 130-97. So everyone's like, oh, I can't bet the Nets. Hopefully I got a nice like plus 460 price on that Nets money line right before they play Oklahoma City. So that's my plan for this one. I'll put Indiana plus minus 12.5 up for me, but that's what I intend on doing here. I'm rooting for a Pacers blowout so I can hit Nets money line on Wednesday night. That is my plan. I hope everyone followed that. But I will re-explain it again on Wednesday night. Where's my Pacers graphics? Oh, you know what? I think they're in the beginning. One sec. So yeah, that's my plan. What do you guys think of the plan?
I like it. I mean, preaching to the choir, the fading recent results there. I mean, you get me in that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. Do you guys have any angles in this one?
I have Cam Thomas over 25.5 points. I actually got it this morning at 24.5 and minus 108. So I did get a pretty good price there. I would still take it at 26.5. To me, this is just like the perfect opportunity for Cam Thomas to just get buckets. Like he is the ultimate street ball bucket getter, doesn't play a lick of any other type of basketball. He just wants to get buckets. And the end of the regular season where nobody's really trying, where really nobody cares that much when they're like looking back at how the season went. Like crazy stuff always happens at the end of the year. This is Cam Thomas's time to shine. Like last 3 games, 38, 28, 30 points, attempting 27, 22, 22 field goals. In his last 10 games, he's attempting about 20 field goals per game, playing about 37 minutes per game. Even if you take out the overtime game against the Wizards where he played 45 minutes, you take out that 45-minute game, his last 10 games, he's still averaging over 35 minutes per game. And the way he scores is perfect for how you score against the Pacers. Like the Pacers can't guard anybody one-on-one. They give up the most isolation points in the NBA, the most points via the pick-and-roll ball handler in the NBA. And over the entire season, not even looking at recent stats, which are going to be better for Cam Thomas, he leads the Nets in both of these categories. For whatever reason, NBA.com, like they don't let you filter by dates on certain stats. I don't understand why they can't give you last 10 games on isolation, but it's really dumb, but whatever. Regardless, he leads the Nets in both points via ISO and as a main pick and roll ball handler on the entire season. And I'm almost positive that's going to be better in the last 10 games. What you can filter is points per game via drives over the last 10 games. Not only does he lead the Nets, but he's 5th in the entire NBA in this category. And to me, it's getting buckets at the end of the regular season when nobody's trying. It's perfect for Cam Thomas. That's his time to shine. So I didn't do this myself. I'm debating laddering it up to 30 plus because I think he could get that as well. But as of right now, I'm just sticking to what I have on the screen here.
So just to help people visualize it, this is a screenshot of the Pacers schedule. You can see first, third. Oh, it's not a back-to-back, but still. This plan is called off if the Pacers don't beat the shit out of the Nets tonight. So, abort. If the Nets play this one close and cover or the Nets win, abort plan. But see that April 3rd at Brooklyn, I'm going Nets money line if the Pacers win comfortably tonight. Go ahead, John.
That's so good. That's so good. I mean, I dig all of it. And I'm actually playing the other side of what mode I was just talking about with Cam Thomas. I'm doing the same thing for Haliburton. So my 2 favorite bets here for this game are Haliburton to go under 10.5 assists and Haliburton to go over 2.5 made threes, which probably means he's going to get the points too. But both of those bets are pretty correlated for the way that this Brooklyn Nets team plays defense, right? So the Nets don't give up assists.
Under 10.5 assists, and what's the other one?
Over 2.5 threes, which got me minus 102 or 4 on that. So it was like really good juice on the for him to hit 3 threes. I do think it's a solid ladder to 4 because you get about plus 165, 170 or so for that. So I would consider that for his threes, but the under assists, it's kind of all correlated here. The Nets, they don't double team you once you get into that pick and roll with the ball handler. That, as Modai said, for the Nets, for the Pacers, they do the same thing. They give up points to the ball handler in that pick and roll because they don't they don't double him. They don't really hedge as hard. They really drop back down with that drop D, and they guard the roll man really closely. And they don't give up points to spot up shooters because once he's coming off of that screen, there's really no spot up shooters available. They don't come off their dudes to help out. That's why Halliburton to hit threes is such a good play and not to get assists, right? And so he had 10 potential assists against his team last game, only ripped off 4 actual assists. And then for the threes, it's the same concept. He was on a real downswing with the threes roughly like 5-6 games ago. And over the last 5, he's taken a lot more. That's why he's hit 3 threes in 4 of the last 5, because he's back up to about 9 threes a game, as opposed to taking about 6 or 7, which he was for like a week or two. Over the course of those 2 weeks, it was way down, like 2 to 3 fewer threes a game. So with the attempts there, I do see this game kind of going under a bit. So that does scare me taking any overs, because I mean, if the Nets don't hit jump shots, then yeah, this is more of an easy over for me. I do think the Pacers defense being middle of the pack is more accurate than what it was before it really slowed things down and put Siakam in there. But yeah, I think everything's tailor-made for him to go under in the assists, over in the points. And the Nets, I do think they get smacked tonight as well.
So are you saying
also isn't everybody out? Cam Johnson's out now.
I think Cam Johnson is.
Right?
Wait, a bunch more? I think
Nick Richards. I thought it was Nick Claxton, but Nick Richards is questionable now. Not
Dennis Smith Jr.'s out, but he's been out. Yeah. And so are you suggesting some kind of same game parlay with those two, or two separate bets?
You could do a builder, baby. You can make a little builder if you want. I love calling them builders. It's like the old man thing for you, Kyle. That's like what we pin on you. But yeah, I think you could if you want. I mean, they're correlated. So you don't get quite as good juice when you have like a pretty correlated bet. Honestly, we'll see if the books give you a little more for that. But I took the plus, like the fact that it's minus 104 for him to get 3 threes. It's like, this is still Tyrese Halliburton, y'all. This has gone too far the other way now.
So all right. Go ahead.
Quick advice: people betting same game parlays, I would put in the odds that you're betting into like a parlay calculator, because they'll nuke the odds on same game parlays. Like something that should be plus 400. FanDuel, DraftKings, they'll give you plus 300. So that's my only advice there.
They'll rob you on that.
Yeah.
So a couple things in the comments. Someone said, Sauce, Angels are free today if you ain't on it. I didn't look at any MLB. Actually, I'm looking forward to the live show in 34 minutes because I'm going to place my bets on that show listening to Toast and Prop Beaver. And by the way, Modai will be with us for MLB tomorrow at 4 p.m. He's a switch hitter. He's also going to do some MLB.
That's what they call me. Switch hitter.
I'm still waiting for my time to shine in MLB.
Well, that's why I messaged you today. I was like, you do MLB, right? Just like confirming. Yeah. So yeah, the scheduling, we just started. We've only done like 3 MLB shows. All right, so our poll on that one, 65%, 20% Pacers. So as you would expect, poll definitely leaning towards Indiana. 2 more games, Suns, Pelicans. So it's 1.5. Pelicans minus 1.5. Pass. All right. Either you guys want to go first?
I want to
go ahead, Josh. Just kidding.
He goes, I want to go second.
Yeah, I'll go. I actually really like this game. This is my favorite game of the day, mostly because it's 2 good teams and 2 good teams that are actually trying and have something to play for. So it's not super difficult to handicap, at least from a prop perspective. I don't know. Main lines might be different. Anyways. So I have 2 here. I have CJ McCollum over 23.5 points. I got this at 22.5. Granted, I got it a little bit juiced. Right now, that 22.5 number doesn't really exist. So I would still play it at 23.5. I love this matchup for McCollum. I also love the fact that I don't really think that the price of his props have adequately been adjusted with his increased role without Brandon Ingram. Like, he's cashed the over 23.5 number in all of the last 5 games that Brandon Ingram's missed. Now, twice he got exactly 23. So if you play the 23.5 and you get hooked on that, that would suck. But other than that, like, he get 23 or more points in every game since Brandon Ingram got hurt. He's averaging about 24 points per game on average. He's got the 2nd highest usage rate on the team, only behind Zion. But I like this matchup a lot better for CJ McCollum than Zion. The Suns play that drop coverage style defense, not as aggressively as the Blazers that I was mentioning. So a lot of times you can get like Nurkic in a pick and roll. You can pull up from 3 or pull up from mid range. That's exactly what CJ does for where am I? I think my notes got deleted because I had a stat that CJ's averaging like the 11th most points per game, specifically via pull-ups in the NBA over the last 5 games since Brandon Ingram got hurt. I think my notes got deleted there. I'm pretty sure that's correct. 11th most points per game via pull-ups in the last 5 games since Brandon Ingram got hurt. And the Suns, they're allowing the 5th most made mid-range jumpers, the 5th most attempted pull-up, 5th most made mid-range, 5th most attempted pull-up, and also 5th most attempted pull-up three-pointers specifically as well. So I love this spot for CJ McCollum. And then the other one that I had, my notes did get deleted. That's annoying. Sorry, but I have most of it off the top of my head. The other one that I love is Grayson Allen, 4+ made three-pointers. That is at plus. We can bet that's best offered at plus 180 now. So this one, I fully climbed the ladder here. I took him 5+, 6+, 7+, and 8+. Just lower your unit size as you climb. But I think this is a smash spot for Grayson Allen. The Pelicans defense, for whatever reason, they'll just leave dudes wide open. Whether you're a good shooter or whether you're not, they'll leave you wide open. On the year, they're allowing the highest frequency of three-point attempts be considered wide open by NBA.com standards, which is 6 feet or more of space. At 24% of three-point attempts against are considered wide open. Over the last 10 games, that number's gone higher. 25.2% of three-point attempts over the past 10 games are considered wide open against the Pelicans. And for whatever reason, as good as Grayson Allen has been all year as a shooter, over the last 10 games, he's literally taking the most wide open three-point attempts in the past 10 games while making the most wide open as well. I know it's like you have to put a lot of attention on Booker, KD, and even Brad Beal, and they do run some actions for him off screens and stuff. So I get it. It's just like maybe guard the guy that's like been one of the best shooters in the NBA, but he just takes a ton of wide open three-pointers. He's shooting 46.6% in the last 10 games on wide open three-pointers, and it's a perfect opportunity to fade recent results. In the last 10 games, the back 5 of that, he made 4 more in 4 or 5 games, including a stretch where he made 6 and where he made 9 in back-to-back games. Since then, he's missed it in all 5. He's actually only hit 3 in 2 of those games. So I think you're getting like a really, really good price on Grayson Allen because he's been cold for the past couple games. So this is my favorite play of the day, even though it's at plus 180 odds. Like I absolutely love this one. And like I said, I fully climbed the ladder up to 8+. So if he has a good game tonight, you'll be hearing from me. That's for sure.
Your both of your bets are in line with what I'm thinking too. But Josh says he wanted to go second.
I did. I was on that bet with you for CJ. It scares me because it keeps going up, and I don't want to. I feel like we're definitely paying a bit of a premium on CJ now because it was like 20.5, 19.5 right when BI went down. He's been hitting it because he's been, like you said, taking like 22 shots a game. I actually did take an under in this game though, and it's strictly just because the Pellies are that they're an under right now. They're just a walking under. Honestly, they're playing such good defense, and that offense, as well as CJ has scored, his percentage isn't super high, and Zion they've been able to sort of double down on him. The interior defense is a bit weaker for Phoenix than I'd like, but honestly, like over the course of like the last 10 games or so, I feel like Phoenix should have a way better record than they do for the areas of the floor where they've been dominant, which is like rebounding, which is wild to me that they've been one of the best rebounding teams in the league over the last 10 games. And also just the overall defense, which I thought was just going to take a downturn, but even against good teams, they've been able to limit, those teams on defense. So climbing back up to about the middle of the pack where they were basically down to bottom 10 over the previous like couple weeks. That's kind of what I'm looking at, is a little bit of that uptick as they played better teams. You mentioned that it's like basically going to be them, this being a lot more of a like playoff level game than any of the other ones we're going to see today. So that's kind of what I bank on. That is just the pace for this Pellies team. Like they at times have like tried to get on the fast break, but all the way down to about the 10th slowest fast pace over the last 10 games as well. So I couldn't really pull the trigger on any props in this one as much as I just really like the under in this game.
Okay. So I bet this one very light, just another 0.5 because this is tough. But I am on the Phoenix Suns here. I took the money line at plus 105. I got it on ESPN bet at plus 105. So let me find there we go. I'm on the Suns. And so for starters, I know that the road trip is a little bit worrisome. You got the Suns on the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. Actually, I don't even know if it's 5 games. Is this the last one or they have more after this? Let me check real quick. Phoenix. No, they go home after this. So this is the 5th and final game of a 5-game road trip for the Suns, all against Western Conference opponents. I know that's tough. I was talking about that in the video last night. That's tough. That being said, they've had 2 days off, so they're rested. They had 2 full days off. They haven't played since Friday, and they played Friday night in Oklahoma City, which is not a far trip to New Orleans. So... And then you add on the fact that they took an ugly loss there to an Oklahoma City team missing Gilgeous-Alexander. So they didn't have SGA, still beat the shit out of the Suns. I like this playing the Suns off of that embarrassing loss. I guess you want to call it embarrassing, ugly loss, let's call it. But also, I like the matchup for the Suns on paper in this game as well. On both sides of the court, interestingly enough. So the Suns offense has been shooting the lights out. They are first in efficiency from the long mid-range, second in efficiency from above the break, fourth in efficiency from the corner 3. So anywhere outside of 12 feet, you can make an argument that no team in the NBA is shooting the ball as efficiently as the Suns right now. Why do I bring that up? Because the strength of New Orleans defense is on the interior. They don't play the greatest defense against jump shooters, especially without the length of Ingram on the court. I mean, we just saw Oklahoma City shoot 45% from 3 against this Pelicans team. So you have a red-hot shooting Phoenix Suns offense coming in here against a Pelicans defense that specializes right now, the way the team's built, at protecting the basket and protecting the paint. Suns are like, cool, we're not even trying to go in there. Go ahead, protect it. So I like that matchup for the Suns offense. I think they're going to score points here. And then on the other side, this is crazy, but the Suns defense actually has good numbers. And when I say good by Phoenix Suns standards. On the interior, look at these. Well, Suns defense, last 10 games, 6th and 11th against the short mid-range, 13th and 13th at the rim. Suns playing some good defense on the interior. Now, this is not a good defensive team, and by no means am I hanging my hat on the Suns defense, but the fact that the strength of the Suns defense recently is on the interior is a positive thing for the Suns here, because with no Ingram, the Pelicans really don't have a ton of shooting, which is why I completely get where Modai's coming from with the McCollum play, because he's one of the few guys on the team that can shoot, along with Trey Murphy as well. But as a whole, this is a Pelicans team with Valanciunas, with Zion. They need to get to the basket. They need to score on the inside, and that's like the only thing the Suns defense is doing well right now. They're doing a pretty good job on the inside. So you mean to tell me that this is going to be a jump shooting battle by the way these two defenses are playing? It's going to be a jump shooting battle between the Suns and the Pelicans. Suns shoot maybe the hottest shooting team in the NBA right now. I think that is a very advantageous matchup for the Suns. So I think the Suns win. But again, this is a very small bet. I took the money line of plus 105 for a half unit.
Dig it.
Our poll is 56%, 36% in favor of Phoenix. Next up, Hawks Bulls, final game, and I bet this one. This is actually my only decent sized bet. I put 0.75 on this one. So this was a monster bet for me, and by tonight's standards, these games are tough. So we got Hawks Bulls in Chicago. Want me to go first here?
Get it.
All right. So I'm on the over in this one. This is my biggest bet of the night. That being said, it's 0.75 units, so it's not a big bet. It's just big compared to the other bets I made tonight. I took the over at 221.5. So I like the matchup for both offenses here. The Hawks and the Rockets are very comparable in a sense that out of nowhere, they're this elite three-point shooting team. Where the hell did that come from? Out of nowhere, the Rockets are top 5 three-point shooting team over a 10, 12-game stretch. Same goes for the Hawks. They're basically top 5, top 6 at shooting the above the break 3, shooting the corner 3. They're taking a lot of threes. They're hitting a lot of threes. Now they're going into Chicago against, on a full season basis, one of the worst three-point defenses in the NBA consistently. They've been really bad for 2 or 3 months, getting lit up from outside. So as long as the Hawks shooters just don't go ice cold out of nowhere, Atlanta's going to score in this game. So I like the matchup for Atlanta's offense. And then on the other side, you got a Bulls team that, as we know, the three-point shot, not a big part of the Bulls offense. They score basically everywhere inside the three-point line. Defending the three has been the only part of Atlanta's defense that's been decent That's why they were just able to give Boston problems recently in a couple games because they've actually been doing a decent job defending on the perimeter. The Bulls are completely cool with that. They have no interest in shooting threes. They're trying to get inside the three-point line, take mid-range shots, get to the basket. So I like the matchup for both offenses. Not to mention, the Atlanta Hawks have hit 7 straight overs. 7-0 to the over in their last 7. And the Bulls are 8-3 to the over in their last 11. So, there was just way too much pointing towards an over there for me not to place an over bet. Now, I will say, I'm a little worried about the pace and the fast break frequency because neither of these teams run a ton of fast break and neither runs a particularly fast pace, which usually is a bad bet in terms of an over. But I like the matchup for both offenses, and these teams just keep going over. 8-3 to the over, 7-0 to the over. So I bet the over. I think it's a good bet, but again, 0.75 unit. That's my biggest bet of the night because I really wasn't seeing a ton of value. Guys?
Sure, I'll go here. I have DeJounte Murray 10+ assists. It's a plus 115 odds I believe it's at FanDuel and Bet365 for those of you that want to tail that. It's a matchup play. Like point guard assists have been really good against the Bulls recently. It's because of their style of defense. It's because, like how bad they are guarding the 3-point line. They're bad everywhere. They're particularly bad on catch and shoot and on corner threes. So those are both assisted shots. And DeJounte Murray has been really good as a passer recently. Granted, he's also been really good as a scorer. He's just been good overall. He had 12 assists last game. He did miss it the game prior to that. But then prior to that, he missed it the 2 straight games prior to this most recent one. After this 3-game stretch, he had cashed in 5 straight games. So we are getting a little bit of a dip because he had missed it in 2 of his last 3 games. Granted, he did cash it last game. But in his last 10 games, he's averaging 15 potential assists per game. That's the second most in the entire NBA. Only Luka's above him. And it's because the Bulls defense, they're really aggressive. People driving to the paint. They don't give up a lot in the paint. But they'll leave shooters wide open. They'll just have people crash down on someone that's running a pick and roll, just leaving shooters open from the corner. So just like your over bet, if the Hawks shooters go cold, then this isn't going to cash, but they're going to have a ton of wide open catch and shoot opportunities in this one. So for plus money for him to get 10 plus assists, I liked.
Yeah, I like that too. I agree. Josh?
Yeah, I was trying to play the same thing. I'm on both these bets with both you guys, by the way. I do like Murray. I couldn't get it at plus money, but I also like the over. The thing that's weird to me is this was at 223.5 and it got bet down, and it was right when Jalen Johnson got announced that he was going to play tonight, that he was available for this Hawks team.
I know. I saw it. I saw it's 222.5 last night. I don't like that either.
Yeah.
But...
yeah, it was a little bit weird.
If it makes you feel any better, line movement has been getting cooked in the NBA recently.
Yeah.
I had a bad couple weeks as a whole. The last 2 weeks we're both losing weeks. Yeah. I've had a ton of CLV. So
yeah. My guy Raheem Palmer says you can't feed your kids on CLV, and I love that.
Amen, man.
Amen, bro. I don't think any of us have kids to feed, but we can't even feed ourselves off that crap. But more importantly, the over in this game, I still am with it. You're telling me that this Hawks team that's been making its bread on getting threes against basically the worst 3-point defense over as of late, and part of that reason, by the way, is Alex Caruso just takes a game. He's just trying to get a steal on every single play.
Yeah,
so there's gonna be a dude
he gambles a lot,
right? He always gambles. Yeah, he just loves those fast break points. Also, you should love Alex Caruso, who went 7 for 8 from 3 against Minnesota to get you that dub the other day.
Damn right.
Right? That was bonkers from Alex Caruso, but. That's what this is all based on. I don't think Jalen Johnson adds to the. He's definitely going to help the down low defense for them, but this Bulls team is also pretty jump shooting, even with Nikola Vucevic when he's in. So all this, I basically everything you guys said and then some.
Someone said in the comments, "Toast kid goes to bed dreaming of CLV, also hungry."
That's funny.
So if 58%. 57%, 32% in favor of the Hawks. By the way, if I'm betting the side, I would take the Hawks money line too. The Bulls back at home where they've been terrible, 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 at home, coming off a huge upset win on the road in Minnesota with no days off. Yeah, I would definitely look at the Hawks here. The idea, I know the Hawks are 4-1 in their last 5 games. All 5 of those games are at home. Now they're back on the road. We might see. I feel safer on the over. I'll say that. But I do like the Hawks. And I was juggling between Hawks and over. I thought the over was the better move here. But if you're on the Hawks, I'm not mad at you. So let's do a quick community parlay because I got the MLB show in 16 minutes, so it'll be a quick one. All right. This is going to be a weird community parlay, man. So we got Magic minus 16.5. Grizzlies, Pistons. They like the Pistons. Celtics, Hornets. You got Celtics minus 17.5. Jesus. And then Nets, Pacers. You got Pacers minus 12.5. This might be the ugliest community parlay ever created in this show's history. So we're going to take first and second place from here.
Hey, the ugly ones are always the ones that end up hitting.
Maybe. You might be right on that.
At least this Detroit money line will get us a little bit closer to even money odds.
There's a lot of people talking about this LSU Iowa game tonight. I don't know where do you guys even get like analytics for women's college basketball? I did a Google search for it. Do they even exist?
So WNBA.com has the same exact like stat profile as NBA.com. You can look at net rating, you can look at advanced stats, you can look
Hey
at
Matt,
stuff. Just
these aren't WNBA.
Oh, wow. Sorry. Yeah.
Wow. Matt, get yourself another coffee, bro.
Bro, I thought there was a segue.
Me too. I thought he was going to be like,
and
you could also.
Nope, just also totally answered the wrong question.
Been there, dude. Dude, it was just like 2 weeks ago when I started going off about a game that you guys weren't even talking about. And I was like, oh, yeah, DeJounte Murray, da-da-da. You're like, the Hawks are not talk about, bro.
Oh, stop it, Ski. You got to watch the games, he said. Stop it. Oh, stop it.
That's what I was going to say. iTest.com.
Is there like a Ken Palm for women's
No, I checked. Right when he was talking about that, I checked earlier. There isn't.
Pistons.
Well, in case anybody wants to bet WNBA, you can find great advanced stats for it.
I will be, by the way. I will be doing that.
Thanks for the WNBA. Where do you guys find stats on LSU Iowa? Well, on WNBA.com.
Las Vegas Aces.
All right, so we got Pistons moneyline, Pacers minus 12.5. That's how we're starting this community parlay.
God.
Yeah. Although I do agree with both those bets, though. Both of those legs. I'm going to put the two that lost back in. Magic minus 16.5 and Celtics minus 17.5. So if you voted for them, you get another shot. Then we got Suns money line and Hawks money line. Hopefully they vote for Hawks and Suns. That makes it more fun. Yo, Ski, I'm on LSU too. But, like, I have no idea. I'm just rooting for LSU. What I was talking about before, I can't decide which of those two groups annoy me more. The people that blindly hate Angel Reese or the people that blindly love Angel Reese. They're both the most annoying groups of people on the planet. I don't know who I'm rooting against more. So I think I'm rooting LSU. It looks like 49%, 30. It looks like it's going to be Suns money line Hawks. Good voting, guys. You guys, I think you did it the right way here. Whether or not it hits, but I think you chose wisely because who wants Celtics minus 17.5 at the community parlay? It's just not fun. All right, I'm going to end the poll because we got this. So we got Suns money line, Hawks money line. Can I get odds on that, please? Do you have your parlay calculator open, Mr. Modai?
I don't. I had it open and then accidentally closed it out. I can tell you more about WNBA analytics though, if you want.
Yeah, we got it. You got it on lock.
You were just perusing it more.
All right. So what do we have? Pistons money line. There we go. Shipley's happy.
Yep. Pistons money line makes the community parlay.
All right. Sorry, my computer's being slow. Pacers 12.5.
Suns and Hawks.
Suns and Hawks. We're looking at
plus 13.
This isn't going to be this isn't going to be terrible.
Plus 13.99.
Sure. 13.07 on FanDuel.
I am getting so good at that. So we got.
I thought you were. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, 13-07.
No, I've been almost nailing them. Which means I do this. I look at these numbers way too much. So we got Pistons money line, Pacers minus 12.5, Suns money line, Hawks money line plus 13.99. Thanks everyone for watching. MLB show in 12 minutes, and I don't have a single MLB bet placed. I don't really do 2 sports at a time. So a lot of times when you see me doing multiple shows, I'm just the host. So for the MLB show, I'm just the host tonight, but I'm looking to place bets based on what Prop Beaver and Toast are saying during the show. So I'll be back in 11 minutes, hopefully, ready to place some bets. Hopefully they got something for me. I had a nice MLB Sunday, so I'm looking to bring that momentum into Monday to start the week off right. Make sure you check out these guys' stuff here. Let me clear up their names. We appreciate them taking their time to join us. That's their Twitter names underneath. They both have YouTube channels as well, where they upload, go through their favorite picks, kind of similar to what I do when I upload. So make sure you check them out. Josh's Twitter is JL Boogie. His YouTube channel is Land Your Bets, though. Land Your Bets. And his is Modi's is Jedi Modi Analytics, right?
Sports Analytics, same thing, yeah.
Yeah, Jet Motor Sports Analytics. Got it. All right, see you in 11 minutes, guys. Later.
See ya.